So one of the first jobs, when you get your fuel tank, it rattles like hell. It's got a few bits in it, okay? You get 3 little tech screws and washers that go through here, and you can bolt to the side of the vehicle. You also get this little thing here, okay? I can't tell whether this is a blessing or a curse, because what this is your fuel takeoff for the little tank. So by not fitting this, they've given you the option, like myself, I wanted to have it bolted this way with the neck at the back, so I can just rotate it like so. Okay, so if this was bolted somewhere, it might be inconvenient then to get the fuel pickup off. So you need to get that on, which is a bit of a pain, but I suppose it's not bad if it's better than it being in the wrong place. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just looking now, I don't want it on the side, because it's if it was that way, you've got a nice little hard bit you can go through, but that again, it's too high. So there's best part of a litre of diesel here, you know, underneath the fuel takeoff. So I'm going to get this as low as possible, so I can still get the pipe off of it and everything, so it'll run even lower in the tank, because what's the point in having a 10 litre tank when you can only use 9 litres of it, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's first job, is get that on. Then the next job from there is we're going to mount the fuel pump, and we're going to put all the little fuel line connectors and things like that on, and then as well as that we're going to mount this to the floor. On another, if you've got say a steel vehicle, it's not so bad, because it's only thin, so when you put it through, you get your 2 ports that you're going to bolt to, and you've got plenty to clamp onto. The bottom of this vehicle, the floor in it is probably 3/4 of an inch, so what you end up having to do is cut a decent sized square out underneath here, so that then you can get the pipes up into the bottom of the vehicle and then clamp them on like that, because otherwise you're only going to get by the time you've got these little ports, as you can see here, 1 second, well, there you go, so that's going to mount to there. It doesn't give you much to play with, so if my vehicle is best part of an inch thick on the floor, nothing's going to be coming through, if you see what I'm saying. Like so. So yeah, you won't be able to bolt the exhaust on, you won't be able to bolt the air filter on, you'd struggle getting the fuel line on, so we'll take a good square out of here and then we can get 2. Okay? So what we'll do now is we've got the little tap, so we're going to get the diameter of this threaded section. You get a couple of nice little O-rings on there, we'll get the diameter of that, put it in, and we'll go from there. Please excuse the carnage in here. I've got no workshop, so I've got no dry space. With it being the middle of winter, I'm balancing everything, not putting it outside, so I have to move everything to one side to work in one corner, move it all to the other side to work in the other corner. It'd been lovely if this was a fresh build, but I've had the thing 5 years and I'm refitting it, so as you can imagine, things are getting chopped and changed. So what we're doing now, we've drilled a little pilot hole just in this bottom corner, and we're going to use the step drill just to open this up and open this up and open this up until the tiny little thing fits in. Okay. Nowhere near. That's the first bit in. There we go, that's the one. So, the difficult bit now is this goes on the inside and comes through. So, what's the chances of making that to that? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of wire and we're going to feed it in through the spout end and feed it out through here, but the wire's got to be thin enough that we can push it through here. So we drop this on and it falls down into place, and then we'll wind the nut on and it should pull it tight. It's going to be difficult because this is going to want to turn inside, and I ain't getting my hand in that 2-inch neck, so we'll see. Well, I thought I'd give it a bash, just because I thought before I try and climb out the back door, before I get the wire and drop it through, I'll just see if I can drop it in and just hook it through, and boom, 30 seconds, you saw that. So what we'll do now is we'll just get the little rubber washer on and then we'll nip it up. Job one done. Okay, that was very, very simple. Out of pure curiosity, I did it again. And what I did is I put my screwdriver in an angle, just put my little terminal screwdriver in that nozzle there, flipped it up straight, pulled it out. So that probably is the quickest way. It wasn't bad at all as fiddly jobs go. So please bear with on the wind noise because it's I don't have a workshop and it's bloody windy today. So under the seats, it's not ideal because the fuel pump clicks, but I'm going to look at making a little soundproof box for that to go in. So we're going to mount the tank to the side there. There's some prep work for that. We're going to put the plate in the floor there. We'll put the holes in and drop that in, and then the ducting can come just round and under the seats there. Okay, so fairly straightforward, all self-contained. The only thing I need to do is from the battery run a large power cable. Because the thing with items like this is at its peak when it's warming up it'll use nearly 10 amps and the cable it's provided with is a bit piss poor. It will work if you're right next to the battery, but my battery's at the other end of the camper, so I'm going to have to run a large cable round and I'm going to have a point here that I can wire things off as a permanent live. Okay, so we can then have the small cable only go in a foot or so. So there's the exhaust, comes out the bottom of the vehicle. I'm a bit stuck for space on this, with it being a four-wheel drive and I go through rivers and whatnot, it's where to put these things. So where the mud flap used to be, there's a nice solid mounting, so I've done it on the rear of that to protect it as much as possible from crap, and then the fumes just exiting out of the side and away. I've not put the air filter on purely because it's an item that will get full of muddy water with me, so I'd rather not have that starving of oxygen and just keep that open. So I'll risk bits of contaminant and everything going into it because I don't want it to just being suffocated. So to continue it now, I've got the air vent going in under the seating area. The downside is this is under obviously where I'm going to be sat, so I'm going to get it ticking away, but with all the cushions and whatnot on, it does deaden the sound down. It's very straightforward for wiring, it's all plug and play, so as long as you've got a nice good thick power pos and neg you should be good. And then to diagram on the fuel line, it really is a very, very easy install. So this is on full power up, so this is about as noisy as it's going to get. Which, I suppose if you're out in the sticks, fair bit of noise, but your average kind of place is still fairly subtle, so not bad at all. If this is what it takes to get your gear dry and everything once you get back in, good investment. So we've got the display there, it's in the off position at the minute, just powers up, straight away you get the lights. The thing that's good about this compared to the eberspacher I've just taken out is it gives you a full display of what's actually going on. So you can see here, just here, you've got the heater plug, you've got the fan status, and it shows that there's cold air coming in and there's air exiting. You've got the temperature now of 11 degrees. It's got a good battery and everything. It shows you the lot. Some people have struggled with this. There's all the instructions with it in English, and as well as that there's also a Facebook group with 1,000,001 people answering the questions, and these, for the odd issues that these are getting, they're a lot easier to see what's going on than the more expensive ones. So I do like this. To turn the temperature, what you have to do when you first power this up is you have to bleed the diesel through. What you can do is, there is a setting for it, you just put it into that, it's all in the instructions and there's quite a few videos on it. It primes itself and then you just set the temperature. So 20 degrees, you give it a minute, it does its little warm up thing, and all of a sudden you hear it going click, 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 click. 30 seconds later you've got heat coming out. It's really is good. Cool little feature of these, you get a remote control with it. Out the box it doesn't work, you've got to link the two together. So I suppose upside is, you lose this, you can always bang another one on. All you do is you press the temperature up button for about 5 seconds. It says HFA or HFR, whichever that is. As soon as it says that, hit the on button, you get a little flash on the signal dial there, and then that's it, it comes on. So all you can do is press the on button, boom, send the signal, the thing's turning on now. It's that easy. So, you know, I can be sat by the fire, having my last beer or whatnot, press the on button, I can hear the camper firing up, it all gets nice and warm, I get back inside, proper survival. So, turn this off, well, we can turn it up. And turn the thing off. Hackles that. Takes a second to go off because I've just clicked the thing on so it goes into its cycle up sequence, but you get the gist of it. Okay, excuse the mess, I'm still climbing in over the back door. So it's one of them ones now, it's just doing its warm-up thing. This is as noisy as it gets. It does draw nearly 10 amps when it's doing this. So this is why you need the bigger cable to it. There's a lot of people that run small cables and they do work, but it's one of them things, for that short burst, you're pulling a lot of ampage through a small cable. Just put the bigger cable in. It's one of them ones. It's safer, and it's just the way to do it. So yeah, once it settles down, you're drawing less than 1 amp an hour. So if you've got this overnight, you're going to use 8 to 10 amps, aren't you? So you're going to need a reasonable battery, but it's not out the way kind of power. And then as well as that, you've got a couple of litres of diesel, which I do this all year round. So a couple of litres of diesel, say £3 to stay toasty warm all night instead of shivering, I'll pay that all day long. If you want it doing cheaper than that, get a wood burner. So as you can see now, it's the fan's speeding up slightly. You've got the fuel pump symbol on here, which means it's pumping the fuel in, and it's going. I don't know if you can hear it, it's not that loud at all. I'd definitely say for your average size Land Rover or small van around this size, I mean, this would have benefited from a 2K one, but I got the 5 because I wanted this display. If you can find a 2K one with a digital display, that's probably going to be a bit better for you, to be honest. Use a bit less power, a bit less fuel, but happy days, this is a good one. For the 120, 125 quid that they cost, I really can't knock it, because it's cheaper than the nearly £200 that I should have paid to have mine fixed. So there we go. Thank you very much. If you've enjoyed this, give us a like for, you know, taking the time to film this for you. And if there's anything else you want to see, I'm going to be using this and abusing this over the winter, so I'll give you a full review of it. The water systems to do next, so we've got the water tank, we've got the 2 pumps, because I'm going to do it in 2 directions, and we've got the pressure switches and everything. So if you want to see all that, subscribe, and I'll give you a little bit more information, and we'll give you a run through of that. By then we should have the side door in as well, so I can film it a little bit better and give you more detail. So thanks again to everyone that subscribes and follows it, and a massive thank you again to the Patreons. So yeah, see you again.